Welcome back to Word with Ty Brownlow. I'm your host, Ty Brownlow. And remember, no one is worthless. No story is worthless. And today, ladies and gentlemen, I have a very special guest for you. Let me give you a couple of words about my guest. Inspirational, passionate, consultant, artist, all the way from Vegas. Please put your hands together for Mr. Dr. John Wynn. How are you?
Hey, thank you, man. Thank you. I'm well. How are you, sir?
I'm good. Man, let's just get right into it if you don't mind.
All right.
Right. Now, in 2017, you and your family launched the first African-American global 24-hour streaming TV network and video demand platform in Nevada. First and foremost, that's a lot to say. But second of all, tell us how that came to be.
You know what, man? Number one, my father was the first African-American on television in Reno, Nevada. And I was about 10 years old, and he had his own preaching TV show in 1980, 81. And Reno still has been a very difficult time for segregation. And so my father was able to champion a lot of different programs. And as he was doing TV and all that great stuff, I kind of liked the back scene, how the director was doing all the shows, the shoots, and the cameras angles and all that great stuff. And so then he passed away in 15, and so I thought maybe I'll go into acting. We did monologues as high school. So when I got older, it kind of died off, and I kind of went forth in ministry. And sometimes you get thinking that you're only supposed to do one thing when you're called to multiple things or multiple talents. So I was driving home I was driving to church one service, and I heard in my spirit, I've given you media, I've given you publishing, and I've given you music, and you've done nothing with it. And I just wept. And the next day, this gentleman had been in my inbox on Facebook for 5 years. And he said, hey, learn how to do your own broadcast. I was just trying to get back into television because I had a television ministry for many, many years. So when he reached out to me, we started talking, and then the rest is history. I started getting deeper and deeper and realized that I had this ability to not just be a creative, but also to help other creatives to get their message, their stories out, and not just from an inspirational, but also from an entertaining way. And then we did our movie, because we wrote my movie back 10 years ago, and we finally did that as well.
Right. Okay. So, man, we're going to talk about all that in a second. You have quite a long list of stuff that you've been into. But what kind of content could we find on the TV network? And
you'll find inspiration. You'll find drama, movies, sitcoms, shorts, preaching, live stream, the Andy Griffin Show, the Beverly Hillbillies, Alfred Hitchcock. We have some Alfred Hitchcock. We'll be able to have Popeye the Sailor Man and some other nostalgic type of MIDI. But then also old movies. We have old movies, new movies, from Danielle Steele all the way up to my own personal shows that I have produced and written and casted, and then other people. And then we have access to over 7,000 movies from other creative faith-based films. I can't even begin to name. Then we have Freedom, I think it's called Freedom, that Cuban Jr. played in. And so we have that on our network. And our platform, is wynnetwork.com. It has multiple things. We're considered a contemporary faith-based type of deal, because some of our stuff has language, because I believe in a good movie. We won't do LGBTQ, we won't do nudity, and that's an area we won't tap in. We'll do action, some action, some language, stuff like that, and some insinuations, but no nudity. So, yeah.
Okay, all right. Well, I mean, first and foremost, hats off to you and, coming up with all that content and to keeping it, in motion, especially during this times, where we need as much faith-based, movies, music, what have you, man, we need as much of that as possible during these times, okay? Now, you're also an accomplished author, producer, writer. I want to talk about this book real quick. You wrote Wrestling with God. Where did the, first, where did the name come from?
Listen to it. You know what? It came from me wrestling with my conscious mind. That's why it's a little G, because you can't wrestle with God. He's everywhere. But I was wrestling with sometimes we can make gods out of our own thoughts, where we're worshiping pain, problems, issues, circumstances, mishaps, misunderstandings, hurts, pains, frustrations, financial stuff. And we create all these little gods in our minds to where we lose focus on the true and living God. So the wrestle was with trying to make it, trying to do whatever God's given me in ministry and in my personal life and my family. So I was just in this vortex of thought and mental anguish, trying to succeed and at the same time pastor God's people. And then you're trying to ask yourself questions. Why is this happening? Why did he do this? And then what happens after you get to the end of each chapter, I have wrestling lessons and wrestling tips. So I teach people not only to go through the wrestle, but here's some things you need to reevaluate. Here's some questions you need to ask yourself. Here's some steps you should take when you're facing these type of situations. And so it's basically that type of wrestle.
Okay. All right. So it's more of a mental wrestle, and physical, because as you said, God's everywhere. You can't really wrestle with something seriously. Come on. But no, I love it. I like it. I really like that concept because, as you said, especially now, as I said before, there's a lot of, anxiety going on with people. There's, people are losing jobs, homes, loved ones, and, they're wrestling with all these ideas or what have you, emotions, sometimes we just need to stand still and just, just let it happen.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. Okay. Now you also wrote and produced a movie, basically called John Wynn's Mirror Mirror.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. Can you tell us about this?
Yeah, we're that's still in fact it'll be dropping on Redbox next month in January. Okay. January run is dropping on Redbox. They can get it on they can rent it on Prime, Amazon Prime, where you can rent it. It's also we're waiting, so Tubi will be taking it, as well as IMBD TV. Okay. That's probably later on in the year, but they can see it on Redbox, their digital platform. They can rent it and check it out. It's a great twist, a lot of twists. We took it around the country. Okay. We premiered it in Texas, from Texas to California to New York to Detroit, Michigan, to Florida, to Atlanta, to Nevada, and Seattle, Washington. We got it last year. It was released at theatrical, limited release and theatrical. So we were in several cities there, as well as we championed it around the country. And everybody was shocked at the end. They said, this is not the, and now this has some language in it, but it's based on a story of a pastor that's put in a place that he knows he doesn't belong, because he was there more out of loyalty than he was calling, and how many times people get in positions and places. But it's a plethora and twist of a businessman that's doing some things. So it's like a crash. So at the end, everything kind of comes together at the end. But it's several plots. It's not just one plot. But it's about people looking at themselves in the mirror. It's about self-reflection. Not anybody else, is about self-reflection.
Okay, all right. So pretty much as you said, layers.
And it's a psycho thriller. So I'm gonna play with your mind, and you're gonna have to ride. You won't figure it out. You gotta ride. And that's what everybody else said. I'm not saying what I said. That's what everybody across the country said.
Okay. Well, hey, you know what? If that's what the country says, we're gonna go with what the country says. I'm not gonna.
All right.
All right. Okay. That's what's up. Mirror, mirror, y'all. Amazon Prime, Redbox coming next month. Okay. So you have over 20 years as a consultant. You know, you work with teachers, students, parents, communities, you know, to help students graduate and become better citizens and, you know, pretty much what have you. Let me speak to you about what's going on now as far as like the sort of divide almost in a sense with teachers. Some teachers not wanting to go back, some teachers who are forced to go back because of, you know, rules or what have you. For those who are on the fence, you know, about the whole coronavirus, I don't want, you know, my child going to school, or, you know, or for those who have issues with remote learning because they feel their child is like falling behind, what words of encouragement or advice can you lay on those types of people right now?
I will say this first and foremost, that when it comes to you feeling safe and putting your kids in that position of sending them back to school, I think that's between the parents and the state and what have you. I don't know whatever state you're in, but when it comes to really distant learning and Zoom and learning, I think we need to really buckle down and tell our children, this is the future. This is what we better learn. This is what you're going to have to do if you're going to be able to excel in society. This is not going away. This was not something that just happened overnight. We have been Zooming for the last 3 years, our teachings and our services. And then all of a sudden everybody said, oh my gosh, how do you use Zoom? Right. And so this is the way of life. And I think I homeschooled, I have 8 children, I homeschooled them. And to me, it works. In fact, it worked better because you can really sit down and give them a real education, not just about books and mathematics and history, but really about life, about a skill set. And I think that should be encouraged. I think parents should really encourage their kids, hey, buckle down, don't worry about it, achieve it, because you can do it. And I think that's the most important, because this isn't going away. And so this is the best thing right now, I think, for them to get it. And there's opportunity for them to explore technology, because in our community, technology is not really that strong. I mean, if you look at how many African Americans know how to code, or how many Africans know how to, I told my sons, I said, we're revamping a whole lot of things in the business on some other things. We're also adding to the business. I said, we're going to start doing databases and creating databases for companies and corporations for schools and people that want it. So I said, we're going into that field, you know. So you have to stay on top of technology. It's not going away. I told my sister, my mom she just turned 82 and she's Zooming and she's emailing and texting and answering, hey, did you check my Facebook, John? Can you say? She 82. So I'm not, no excuse for little kids and young people that have young minds. Get it, learn it. If you can do social media, if you can do Facebook, if you can use iPhones, this is the same thing. Get to learning, because it ain't gonna stop. So that's what my encouragement to do. Don't feel bad. Tell them to get in there and learn, just like you gotta learn everything else. Let's do this. If you can play video games all day, you can go to school all day online. So I think it's just a matter of adjusting to, my words is always, I would rather be inconvenient to be convenient. In other words, be inconvenient right now, learn the skill set to where you can be, things can be convenient for you later. You can have a good job, you can relax, you can go on vacation. So sometimes it takes inconvenience to be convenient. You know, long hours, long days at work, you know, working hard to get to that vacation to where you don't have to do nothing. So, you know, I would encourage the kids, you know, or the students to buckle down, stay focused and get it.
Okay, all right. Well, y'all heard the man. Very transparent, buckle down. As he said, it's not going anywhere. This is pretty much the future. Man, we have to roll with it. Let's adjust, get it together, move on. All right. So, Dr. Wynn, let me ask, you know, 2020 has been a year for a lot of things negative. A lot of people have things to say negative about 2020. We're not going to go there. We're going to go in the opposite direction, okay? So I don't, man, you don't have to, name off a list of things. Basically, I just want to ask, what is one thing positive that 2020 has brought you?
The closeness of family. Family has come back. Parents finally had to listen to their children.
Mm-hmm.
Families had to come together now and stay in the house because we were in a pandemic. And if you didn't like your family, you better have learned to like them again. Mm-hmm. And I think it was a thing of reorganizing, reestablishing what's really important and what really matters. Because at the end of the day, after you gain, you have. I remember when I broke my leg, that's where that book came from. I broke my leg. I was gone so much and so busy. And my kids said, Dad, we didn't even know you because you were gone so much. Mm-hmm. But it wasn't until I broke my leg, that tragic situation, I thought, that brought unification and closeness back to all my children. And I think these type of events causes us to recess, to go back and take a break, reevaluate. Let's see what we've been missing. We've been leaving hours and at ends. Kids go to one room, we go to another. So I think this was really opportunity for families and people to come back together and really say, hey, this is what really is important. And I tell you, it was so powerful because people didn't realize how disenfranchised the African American was until they saw everybody was at TV, was watching TV finally.
That's
and
right.
They saw that man do what he did. And it really made the country say, wait a minute, have we been doing black folks this wrong, that long? And then it changed the whole trajectory of that. Look at all the minorities that are getting hired in Hollywood and corporate America, television. So it changed the narrative. So I think a lot it was a bittersweet year.
Yes.
I mean, if you were innovative, if you had an opportunity to create, it was a great year.
Yes.
I think we all was touched by this some kind of way. My uncle passed, my wife's brother passed, not of COVID, but just happened to have death in the family, as well as people that were leading organizations, major organizational leaders died off. And so it's been a bittersweet year, but for the most part, it brought a sense of kindredness of let's come together as a people. Let's think about the little things.
Okay. All right. I like it. I like it a lot. All right. Family, togetherness, come together. I like it. If people want to, get in contact with you, if they want to find out more about, your platform, your movies, your books, how can people get in contact with you?
There's two things. You know what? We would love them. They could subscribe to the Wynn Network for free. And you can watch the content for free at wynnetwork.com. That's where you subscribe, but you can also download the app on your phone, on your iPad, and on your iOS system. We're on Roku, Fire TV, Apple TV, Google Play. We're everywhere. Just like Netflix, where's your Netflix is, we're there too. So, or if you have a Samsung TV, you could get a set-top box of a Roku box or a Chrome or Apple box or what have you. We're everywhere. You can watch it, just download, go to search the Wynn Network, download the app. It's free again, and you can watch for free. And we're asking for as many subscribers to come on and just join us. And if you want my book or you want to do any training, because I do empowerment training, seminars and workshops as well, you could go to Dr. John Wynn, that's DOCTOR, John Wynn, JOHNWYNN.com. And you can get my books, my CDs, whatever.
Okay, all right. You heard the man. Go see. All right. So, Dr. Wynn, this is pretty much brought us to the last question, the question my show is known for, so I have to ask. What is the one word that best describes you and why?
I think one of the words that I would say that describes me is I'm persistent and I'm committed to whatever I need to do. I'm not going to give up. So I would say persistent because I've had a lot of ups and downs and I'm still keep getting up, going forward. So I think persistence and committed to it. That's 2 words, but
well, I mean, you know what? Sometimes, seriously, sometimes it's hard to just find one word. Sometimes you got to put another word in. So
right.
That's all right, as long as they're positive words. That's all.
Yes, sir.
As long as they're positive. But I thank you for being a guest on my show, man. I really thank you for your time. I thank you for your transparency. I thank you for your words. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, this has been Word with Ty Brownlow. I am your host, Ty Brownlow. Remember, no one is worthless. No story is worthless. You can follow me on social media, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram at Word with Ty Brownlow. Follow me on Twitter, Ty Brownlow TV, or you can just go to my website, tybrownlow.com. Get this wonderful interview plus other great interviews. Dr. Wynn, I thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, Ty.
All right. You have a good night.
You too.